Hi, in this tutorial we will be looking at objects, properties and methods in JavaScript. Now the concepts we're about to look at are concepts that we've already applied in previous tutorials, but today we'll get a better understanding of these concepts before we move on to other things. So the main concept that we're looking at is called object-oriented programming. And object-oriented programming is a type of programming where programmers can define not just the data types of a data structure, but also the different types of operations or functions that can be applied to a data structure. Now remember that data types are things like integers, strings, float or real, and Boolean data types. And data structures are things like arrays, lists, files, records, and tables. So they're the way or the systems that are used to organize data. Okay, so object-oriented programming, it's a type of programming where programmers can define the data type of a data structure, but also the different types of operations or functions that can be applied to those data structures. So under this model, a data structure is known as an object, and it can consist of both data and functions. And programmers can create relationships between these different objects. For example, an object can be given characteristics that belong to another object. So an object can inherit characteristics from another object. And there's quite a few programming languages which support object-oriented programming, like Java, C++, Python, Visual Basic.NET, Ruby, and of course the language that we're working with, JavaScript. So in JavaScript, an object is something that can have properties. So an object is something that can have properties. A method is an action that you can perform on an object. And a property is something about an object. For example, the length of a string. Okay, so in this video, we're going to look at objects, properties, and methods. Okay, now I've created a variable here on line 20. The variable is called sentence, and it contains a string. And that string is a sentence just saying hello world. Okay, now below on line 22 is an example of using a property. So we have document.write, and then we're going to display the length of the sentence. So it's going to print this message to the screen in the browser when we run the code. So it's displaying the length of the sentence. So length is a property of the sentence, which is an object. Okay, so the length is how many characters are in this sentence. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it should be 11 characters in that sentence. Therefore, it has a length of 11. So that's the property. Okay. On line 24, this is an example of using a method on an object. So we're using document.write again. And what we're going to display this time is the sentence string, but it's going to be converted to uppercase. So the sentence hello world will be displayed in all uppercase letters. So to uppercase, including the 2 brackets there, that is an example of a method which is being performed on the sentence object. In fact, write is also a method which is being performed on the document. So the document.write there, write is also a method, and to uppercase is a method, where length is a property. Okay, so let's have a look at this. When we run this code, basically it should show the number 11 on one line because it's showing the length, which is a property of hello world, a sentence. And on the next line, it should be showing that sentence hello world in uppercase because we're using the to uppercase method. Now remember, when you use a method, there will usually be brackets after that method where you can sometimes place parameters inside those brackets. But let's just run this code. And there we go. So on the first line we've got 11, which is the length of that string, and then on the next line down it's converted hello world to uppercase, all uppercase letters. So those are just examples of using properties, so showing the properties of an object and using a method on an object. Alright, so that's an overview of object-oriented programming, and we've looked at objects, properties, and methods. We've been able to define those today. And it's really important that we cover these concepts because they're going to be used a lot, and you need to understand them before we move on to bigger and better things in JavaScript. Okay, so thanks for watching.